I'm Laura Bonnell, and this is the Living with Cystic Fibrosis podcast coming to you from Detroit. Please subscribe and even rate and comment on our podcasts when it moves you. I learn something new with every podcast, and I'm always inspired by the people that are showcased here. We don't give medical advice. You need to connect with your doctor for that. I hope that this Living with Cystic Fibrosis podcast educates you and sparks some volunteering or advocacy. The CF community needs people like you. Thanks to our sponsor, Viatris, for their support. We're going across the border for this one. We're going to visit one of our friends in Canada for this podcast, and I'm excited to tell you the inspiring story of Deana and her son Liam, Deana Wilson, the heart and soul behind Liam's mission. When Liam was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at just 3 weeks old, Deana's world changed overnight, like so many of us have experienced. What started as a mother's fight for her son has grown into a powerful movement helping families, educators, and children navigate chronic illness with courage, creativity, and hope. From best-selling advocacy workbooks to community events, Deana and Liam are turning personal challenges into powerful change. You'll hear how they're transforming emotional wellness through storytelling and why their message that hope is louder is resonating far beyond the CF world. We're so glad to have her. Deana, welcome. It's so wonderful. After seeing everything that you sent me, I'm excited for everyone else to hear about it. And before we jump into all the exciting things that you and Liam are doing, first tell me who you were before cystic fibrosis came into your life. Were you working full time? What were you about? Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on. It is a true pleasure to actually see you, and we've been following you for a long time.
Thank you.
Who I was before Liam, I don't even know where to start.
It's hard, right? Because sometimes we think like, what was there before cystic fibrosis?
I don't know. I was I wasn't dating. I was working quite a bit. But before Liam, I don't even know, Laura. I don't, because it's been 10 years. So I don't know. I don't know.
What was your career? What were your joys before cystic fibrosis and then before Liam was born?
I have always been into real estate. I was always, I was an assistant to a real estate agent for the longest time. I worked in factories. I worked at Chrysler for a bit. And then I had Liam in the midst of everything.
So you were organized, busy, you were together, you were a multitasker.
Yeah.
You had different wonderful jobs that maybe prepared you a little bit for what happened. So Liam is born 10 years ago. Did you know anything about cystic fibrosis?
No, I had never heard of it. There was nothing. We didn't know anything. So it was a complete shock when we got his diagnosis.
And how did it all roll out? The diagnosis, what did you find out after he was born? What happened?
Yeah, so Liam was born on Valentine's Day, and it was an emergency C-section that I had. So I was in Milton Hospital, and he was born at 4:56 in the afternoon on Valentine's Day. So we were grocery shopping, and I had some really bad pains and stuff. And I said to my mom, something's not right. So we went to the hospital, and they're like, emergency. Let's get you done. So I was like, okay. So I had him. And then there was nothing even then, when he was born, there was anything wrong. So we were in the hospital for 2 nights, and then we were released. And the following day, I went to my family doctor, and she noticed that he was breathing really rapid, and he had lost 2 pounds in a matter of a few days. So he was 7 pounds, 7 ounces, and he was down to 5 pounds. So right away, like red flags. So she sent us to Oakville Hospital.
In what state? Remind us where you are.
We're in Canada. We're in Ontario.
Yay, our
Um,
Canadians. Our Canadian friends. Love it.
yes. So we were sent to Oakville, and we were admitted for 3 weeks. They ran a bunch of tests on him, and they did the newborn screening as soon as he was born. And the day that we were released was the day that we found out that he had CF. My family doctor and our new pediatrician had called within minutes of one another and said, "You need to sit down, and we have something to tell you." And I just had a shower and just got out of the shower, and the phone had like dropped, and I was like, I don't even know. I was like freaking out. So yeah.
And then where do you go from there? 10 years ago in Canada, is there newborn screening? I know there's a lot of awareness about cystic fibrosis because I know many people in Canada, and they have been raising awareness for so long. But if you don't know that you were a carrier, and like I didn't, just like you, so what happens then about your instantly having to learn about cystic fibrosis?
So obviously the first thing that everybody tells you is not to go on the internet, right? The internet is probably the worst place that you can look for things, or it's just wrong. So automatically that's exactly where my head went, that I have to find out. And I, to be honest, shouldn't have. I mean, there's so many groups and so many moms that you could reach out to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we got to the doctor in Hamilton, there was so much that happened with Liam within the first little bit when we found out. They did the sweat test with him. They poked him again to make sure everything was right with blood tests. And it was the scariest time of my life. So, yeah.
So then you kind of find out what you're dealing with. You realize you're a carrier, obviously. You're on your own. It's you and your mom, right?
Yeah.
Raising Liam. She's helping you. How do you feel then about, where we are at that point when Liam is diagnosed in CF care, and moving forward?
So my dad was helping too. It was me and my parents. And then like we had a lot of family that helped. My aunt at the time, she was a nurse, so she helped as much as she could. We had a lot of support. We still do. Like Liam has a ton of support with everything that we do. So we're thankful for that. My dad was the one who really pushed to try to raise more awareness for him. So like anywhere we went, my dad was like, "Oh, my grandson, look at how cute he is. And, he's got cystic fibrosis." And I was like, "Dad, like, I personally didn't want people looking at him any different, right? And as soon as you hear that he has CF, people think the worst, right?" So I tried to say to him, like, "Please don't. I don't want you to tell people what he has." And he was really upset and really offended. He's like, "I'm not doing it to hurt you in any way or to hurt him. We're doing it to raise awareness. People don't know." He goes, "Deana, you didn't know." I'm like, "Well, so it hit differently." We did a lot of raising awareness after I got to the point where I was like, okay, he's right, right? Like, we need to raise awareness because people don't know what it is. We had the papers email us and different TV stations, and we did lots of interviews when he was little about it. So we started raising awareness right away. Like, there was no holding us back. We did events and we did everything that we could.
Did it make you feel better? I felt like, even though I completely see where you're coming from, and I felt that way too, like it's my kid's story to tell.
Yeah.
But it was also about, you have to raise awareness.
Yeah.
So once you started sharing it with, and your sweet dad as, the instigator for that, the great
Yeah.
instigator for that, how did you start to feel then, sharing it and having people ask questions and inquire?
So much better. I think it was like a huge weight off my shoulders, because now people actually know about him and know what he has, and they can help too by like sharing our posts. And because again, we have a lot of support from a lot of people. So it made me feel better after I started.
That is wonderful. And how did this sharing and opening up create your CF community there?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So when Liam was about 3, I think, we started kind of going through like children's books and stuff. And I said to my aunt, I said, I don't really see any children's books in Canada per se, for CF, because I knew soon Liam would be going to school, right? And kids would be asking questions. And I wanted it to be easy enough for Liam to also be able to share his story with the kids. So we sat down and Liam and I and a friend of ours co-wrote a children's book. My aunt illustrated it in easy terms, right? So that kids could understand. And it really took off. We sold, I think, close to like 3,000 or 4,000 books. And they're in libraries and they're in everywhere, right? So on Amazon and stuff, it really took off. We just wanted something easy for him because he was going to school.
And easy to understand for others.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
have to tell you, when my girls, started elementary school, and it was the whole thought of, do I send them to school or do I keep them in a bubble? And I'm glad we didn't keep the girls in a bubble. But every year I was writing over what teachers needed to know, and giving
Yeah.
them little binders of information about, this is what might happen. This is,
Yeah.
what they need to do. And I had a really old, and still do have an old, how-to for cystic fibrosis. I can't even remember who wrote it all those years ago, but I kept thinking, oh, I really got to update this. I really have to do something. And then I got your email. And my gosh, my girls are 30 and 27, so I've been thinking about it a long time. But the foundation takes a lot. You don't have a lot of time to let me write this book. But so how did you go from that first book to realizing more was needed?
Okay, so I personally think way back like 10 years ago, right? When we first started our journey, if there was only something, and I didn't want a huge manual, right? Like,
Right. Who's going to read it?
yeah,
No one.
you don't have it, and you don't have time,
Right.
right? So I sat down with Liam and I said, okay, so what if we sat down and figured out how to create a workbook that could potentially help new parents with CF babies? And this is when we came up with like our workbook, right? So again, 10 years ago, you have no manual, you have no help, you don't know where to start, you don't know what groups to, email or message or whatever. And I was like, okay. So it's all of our lived experience in the workbook, but also a lot of kid stuff as well, like what you should bring to the hospital and stuff like that. So we're really, really excited about it. We've sold already in the 3 weeks, I think that it's been out, close to 20 books.
Nice.
So,
and I'm sure you're going to sell more because
I'm sure we are too.
I think it is wonderful, and they're beautifully illustrated.
Thank you.
Very nice. So, what kind of input did Liam have? And what did this mean to him?
So he actually designed most of the children's section of it. I did a lot of the adult stuff, and he had all the input and all the say in the children's section of the manual, like the workbook.
And describe it to us.
The workbook, the children's section is really cute. Liam's designed Phoenix the fox, so he actually drew a fox when he was in the hospital numerous times, and we've incorporated that into our workbook. The children's section is all about what they're feeling, how they can overcome certain things. Like there's just a whole lot of things in it. And then the adult section is more about what you're feeling and rituals I feel that will help overcome certain things that you're going through, things that we went through when Liam was little. So.
And what are some of those things that you went through that you kind of worked out in the workbook?
So a lot of it was a lot of hospital stays. Liam had a few really bad experiences in the hospital. He needed 7 different IVs within like a 2-week span. So at that point, I didn't really know how to deal with my feelings. I feel a lot of times I was isolated because I have a lot of friends that have kids, but they're not going through like what we're going through, right? So they don't know what we're going through and what I'm dealing with or how I'm feeling. So a lot of that is in the workbook. We've got like emotional wellness stuff for the parents as well. Just how to cope with your feelings, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think, too, part of the challenge with cystic fibrosis, I mean, I think that anybody with kids with a chronic illness can probably relate, but with cystic fibrosis, it's an isolating disease because you can't get your kids together. And if you have the workbook in front of you, I know people listening won't be able to see it, but, hold it up. It's so nice. The ultimate workbook. It's for both parent and child. I love it. And how long is it?
It is over 120 pages.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah, like we've put a lot of thought into it. Again, like I said, Liam did all of the kid section and he's really, really proud of it. Again, it's with Phoenix the fox, so he's super happy that Phoenix gets in there as well.
And what kind of feedback are you getting from people that have already purchased it?
Amazing feedback. A lot of the parents that we've talked to already are saying that it should definitely be included in the newborn screening packages that they do give out. We're waiting to hear back from Sick Kids and CHEO in Ottawa and in Toronto. So I'm hoping that the hospitals will also pick it up. Our school board, hopefully they're going to pick it up as well, just because I think it's so needed. Like the parents that we've talked to have just said that they really feel that this workbook is really needed for new parents.
And also, it's community. It brings everybody closer. and
Yes.
and kind of it's conversation. If
Yeah.
if I was going for a work through a workbook, I either would want to call somebody or text somebody, "Hey, I had this question or this thought.
Yeah.
Did you have that?" I mean, that must be happening as well.
Yeah, it is.
And for Liam, kind of what are you noticing from him now that this book has gone out?
He is again super excited. He's hoping that it'll help kids that are going through similar things. It'll help ease them and it'll help relieve maybe some stress and emotion because again, there's a lot in there that like we did a lot of emotional stuff in there for the kids too. So he's super excited about it though.
And everything that you're offering up to people and selling is in our show notes. But I want to know, are there things that you learned from as you wrote about them or you got input about that you thought, oh, this is another way to look at, you know, working with kids who have CF? Did you learn things along the way?
I did like I think it was more like as Liam was getting older, I wrote a lot of stuff down, right? So I went back like through my personal stuff and we've added again a lot of our personal journey into the workbook. But I had like a lot of input from some of my family and friends that have also obviously like they're going through our journey with us and they have some input too. So we kind of took everyone's input and tried our best to put it into the workbook.
And I love it too because, like I said, I've been thinking about it. My kids are done with college.
Yeah.
They're like, I mean, I thought about it a long time. So I'm really proud of you because you thought about it and you did it.
Thank
I've
you.
thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it. And I think it's just another reminder to all of us that we can do all sorts of things,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. As soon as you put your mind to it, you can do the impossible.
How are you feeling about yourself and your growth in this journey?
Amazing. When it first came out and we got it printed, I was on cloud nine. I'm still on cloud nine, but I was definitely like hitting a huge cloud nine. So, and just to hear the feedback, it's been amazing.
And how about your dad? How did he get to see this?
My dad, unfortunately, he passed away 4 years ago of stage 4 lung cancer.
Oh,
So he didn't, but I know that he would be super proud. So,
of course.
yeah.
And how about your mom?
My mom, definitely on cloud nine. We sent it all out to all of our family and stuff, and they're just completely blown away. So everybody's super impressed. The workbook turned out fantastic.
That is so, I mean, your dad was kind of the seed for all of this,
Oh,
and he really started it growing,
yeah,
right?
yeah, he did.
And yes, and then your mom got to see it through with you. That is
Yeah,
a beautiful thing.
it is.
What are you most proud of about this workbook right now?
I think that I actually followed through and got it done. We had been, like you, we'd been talking about it for a while and just kind of back and forth with when the right time was, I think, to actually do something like this. And then over the past year, I sat down with Liam and I said, like, let's start and see how it goes. And we started and we just didn't stop. So, and now that it's done, it's a huge accomplishment. Huge.
And is the parent side, and congratulations again, but is the parent side more of fill in the answers, or is it getting parents to talk with other parents, or is it doing both?
It's actually doing both. There's a lot of space to fill in the answers, and then a lot of things that you can think about, right? So, like, what if? And there's a lot of different things in there that will really help parents.
And is it helping them make decisions for school for their kids as well?
It is. We wrote letters and stuff. Like, we've used templates in there um, to write to teachers and your school, the principals. We've done an event chapter as well, how to start an event, how to email your MP or your MPP.
And for people in the US, remind us, we're talking about the parliament. Yeah, not the Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I was just saying that there's a lot of templates and stuff in there. So for different things.
And what do Liam's friends think? Are they impressed? Do they know the significance of it at this young 10-year-old age?
I don't really think they do. Liam's talked about it and talked to his class and stuff about it. But I mean, like a 10-year-old, it just, whatever, right? So if it goes in one ear and straight out the other ear, they, you know, they're just out there having fun.
But a very cool thing, a very it's I hate to sound corny, but it is a moment in time. It is something he'll always remember doing with you, and his age and where he's at and how it helped him.
Yeah, it will. And it is. I mean, again, he's super proud of it. So we've taken tons of pictures and he's showed his teachers and he's showed his principal and stuff. And I mean, he's super, super proud.
Is there anything else that you wanted to tell us about this project? I know it's really taking off in Canada. You're getting a lot of publicity, which is wonderful.
We are. It's actually taking off in the US as well. We are hoping that the Boston hospital takes it up. We've emailed them. We've emailed a few different hospitals as well, and they seem to be extremely interested. So we're hopeful that it hits the US too.
Congrats. And are you doing this full time? Are you doing a combination of working? How's it changed you? What's happening, Deana?
So I am a full-time real estate assistant to a broker owner in Milton. This is my part-time, this workbook. But I mean, if it takes off, I might just have to switch it up. So we'll see what happens.
And that is a possibility. I mean, I never thought I would be able to do my foundation full time. Here I am, 2019, started doing it full time and never looked back.
That's
So
amazing.
you'll make it happen. I am
Oh yeah, I know we
sure.
will. It's still early.
What do you see in Canada in regard to cystic fibrosis? What are you excited about? What do you think might need change um, as we continue to grow in our CF communities?
Trikafta is making me very excited. Liam is on it and has been on it for almost 3 years. In September, I think he started. And I've seen huge leaps and bounds with him. Like, he's not sick as often in the hospital as what he was when he wasn't on it. And he's running and he's doing track and field, and he made the track and field team in the fall. So like he blows my mind. So it's huge that he's on Trikafta. It's helped him a lot.
And there's such a great bunch of advocates in Canada. You know, there's Beth Vanstone and
Yes,
Patty, and there's so many more that I could
Stephanie.
name.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah. And you could name them all. I'm sure
Oh,
you could
I
name,
can. Yeah, there's quite a
right?
few.
Yes. So you have a wonderful community there. Anything you want to add before we wrap it up about what you're doing in this workbook?
No, just go buy it. Go buy the workbook.
Absolutely. It's all in show notes and ways to reach out to you and find you. Well, tell Liam, sorry he had to be in school. We missed him, but we're really proud of him. Great
I will
work.
tell you for sure.
The original music in this podcast is performed by Kevin Allen,
It's not complicated.
who happens to have cystic fibrosis.
We all got our worries and fears. I know it's got you frustrating, but loving you is so alright.
This has been the Living with Cystic Fibrosis podcast. For more information and to learn more about the Bonnell Foundation, visit our website at thebonnellfoundation.org. That's the BONNELL Foundation.org.
This podcast was produced by Jag and Detroit Podcasts. Follow our show on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening right now.